Coming into this game, Michael Beale had won only 2 of the previous 6 league games and fans were restless. It is worth trying to sort out if this concern is justified or not. Mowbray had also in his final 6 games only won 2 of them, garnering the same amount of points as Michael Beale, so why the big outcry? Well, to quote Benjamin Disraeli, the famous Prime Minister, "There are lies, damn lies, and statistics." But I like statistics, so let's take a look and figure out where we really are. There are several problems to address beyond the simple points accumulated column. Firstly, the football is worse. Perhaps we were spoiled under Mowbray to have a team full of attacking verve, but under Beale it looks less exciting and seems less effective, and there appears to be no escaping this. Fans can see it watching the game, and pretty much every measurable data point demonstrates it. If we compare Mowbray's last 6 and Beale's first 6 games, then Beale achieves half the XG, 10% less possession. It is no surprise that less ball means fewer chances. Our shots are nearly half of what they were under Mowbray. Our shots on target has dropped to where the opposition have also increased. We have almost half the shots in the box we used to have. We deliver fewer crosses and win fewer aerials. About the only stats that don't suffer under Beale are long balls and aerial duels, which, although still less than under Mowbray, are acceptably similar. Secondly, Beale still seems to be searching for his best team, and he looks little nearer a solution. Against Ipswich he played very deep, rarely pressing. And then against Hull, he played high and focused play around Clark on the left. But this isn't just to do with the threat of the opposition. For example, against Preston, we also played high and to the right. But that was Alex Pritchard's influence, deployed as a nominal right winger on that occasion. Discerning an effective game plan for Beale is not yet clear, and mid-season this understandably has fans worried. There's no settled team plan, it appears. Thirdly, some of the team choices have been confusing and not always worked out. For example, Rusine opens his goal account against Preston and then is dropped to the bench in the next league game against Ipswich. And in the Ipswich game, he substitutes our most threatening and creative player in Abdullah Bar. We subsequently lose the game. Perhaps you can't account for that, but Bar is then inexplicably on the bench next game. Choices like this make it seem that he either lacks a plan or is still searching to develop one. Lastly, Beale has the unfortunate timing to have been appointed during the almighty cock-up that was the Mags game. The new guy was always going to be an outlet for fans' unhappiness over all of the decisions around this. Beale appeared to add to it, though, with a passive setup and a limp performance. Anger, I suppose, was inevitable and inevitably directed towards him. He, after all, is the only real public face on a weekly basis. There is some good news out there, though. Somehow, we are still in the hunt for the playoffs. Beale's choices and tactics will surely settle down, and we hope to have performances that improve off the back of that. Michael Beale doesn't really have much of a record as a manager. His experience is small compared to Mowbray, and his statistics are certainly no better. The idea that there is data out there that he's better than Mowbray does not exist. He's fortunate to get this chance to manage this club, and it might be the biggest hope that we have. If he knows that this job in the top 2 divisions is possibly the last one he get, should he not make it, then he's going to give it his all. And what does it mean to make it? Well, he's going to have to do everything he can to succeed, because success looks like a spot in the playoffs. That's why Mowbray was sacked, so anything less than that would be querying what on earth has happened. And into this febrile atmosphere stepped Stoke City, so let's get back into the reviews and see just how Beale managed to get 3 points.
Let's go.
Stoke City brought with them returning lost Sunderland and Gooch, and a new manager themselves, Stephen Schumacher, who had lost only 2 of his opening 6 league games in charge of them. But they were hardly firing on form, so the tension was palpable before kick-off. Both managers really needed a win. With only one game in 2 full weeks of training, this really should start to look like a Michael Beale team. However, in his 6 games he's managed, Beale has named 5 different people to play as striker and also selected no one. Today, it was Merson Burstow's name that was picked blindfolded out of the hat to lead the line. Surely it's my turn soon. Elise remains out until mid-February, so the increasingly impressive Jensen Seelt kept his place at right-back and Trey Hume substituted at left-back. Luke O'Nien was starting his 250th game for Sunderland. Amazing. The biggest bombshell, though, was the refusal of Alex Pritchard to play, as he looked for a long-term security in his career before the transfer window closed. So, with Roberts injured, this meant Abdullah Bar was selected in the right wing slot.
This afternoon, making his final checks is Andy Davies. He's refereed 10 championship games this season. He's only given away 1 red card and no penalties.
Under Michael Beale, Sunderland have generally adopted a much more cautious approach and tend to sit off the high press once the opposition have progressed beyond the back line. We also sit narrow and give up the flanks. I'm not really sure why this is the case. I suspect it is to crowd out the centre and make playing through us more difficult, but as you'll see, this currently doesn't work too well. Jensen Seelt, though, is something of a ball player, so when we played out from the back, Beale had him playing into midfield, allowing Abdullah Bar to drift inside when building from the back ourselves.
Seelt helps it on. Bar. They put it round his man. Goes down right in front of the lineup.
And defensively, he's improving as well. Look at his awareness here as he ends up having to track one player and covers another. So alert to come away with the ball there. Burstow worked hard today. We are still not a team who plays with strikers very well. Burstow often had to come short for the ball and played as an attacking pivot at times today. This helps progress the ball to our wingers, and that's fine, that's part of a role as a striker, but it's hardly going to help our strikers score when they're passing upfield from the centre circle. They ain't going to be putting the ball in the net. It's also why our wingers often have to check back inside, because they have to wait for forward players to get up and into the box to have options. However, Burstow worked hard trying to break the backline today and making plenty of runs in behind. And Beale clearly has the players trying to find these runs a little more than previously. We just aren't very good at it. And even if we do, there is no one up in support for them. Clearly there is much to still improve on here. Defensive corners under Beale look pretty standard. This is a defensive mixed set of zonal and man-to-man marking. It's extremely commonplace these days. But we're not terribly good at this either. Look at this corner. Ekwa loses his man too easily as he rolls to the front of the queue. And Luke ends up having to deal with 2 men. This is a goal or a penalty waiting to happen, frankly. And I've seen this kind of shoddy defending at corners too often all season from us. It's disappointing to still see some of the basics not improving here. For their part, Stoke cut us open with worrying ease in the first half. Here. And for all the bright possession we had in the first 30 minutes, Iverson didn't have a single save to make. Stoke, on the other hand, had 5 shots to our 2.
Yeah, we've lost our way.
Wilmot looking for Campbell. Wilmot still threatening. Opportunity for Stoke City. Great save from Anthony Patterson. Still alive.
Coming much closer to scoring.
Another one.
Going to come and drop for John O. And a third.
Oh. Well, there we go. I said he's had a save to make. Then he pulls off another one, doesn't he? 1-on-1.
On the rare occasion where we did press the ball beyond the halfway line, Neil wins it here, and we break in numbers. It's 3 versus 3.
Can he get on the end of this one? He's got the better of Luke.
And the result is to pull Stoke's backline apart.
Oh, save.
Still spinning. Might drop. It
Yes!
did! Mason Burstow!
Finally!
With Burstow nodding home for the opening goal.
I said before the game, didn't it? You'll take one, whether it's off your backside, whether it's a scruffy one in that 6-yard box. And finally he's off and running like Nazari Rusin. Let's have a look back now. Yeah, this one there, he thought Jack was getting away from Linden. Doesn't put the brakes on Linden. Then he gets goal side. And then Jack goes again on the outside of him. Fizzes it in, safe from the keeper. And we know Abdullah Bar's got a good spring. Just gets enough on it. And then...
Oh, it comes off Wilmot.
Yeah, it'll be his goal though.
And we were fortunate to go in at half-time ahead.
2 or 3 good opportunities. Worked Anthony Patterson a couple of times. Luke back.
Here they come. Sunderland side running out to our right-hand side as we look at it from halfway up the west stand here, the Stadium of Light.
The other side of the break, Sunderland started the brighter. A clearance from Silt falls to Abdullah Bar, who spins, looks up and puts a great ball crossfield to Jack Clark. Burstow makes a good striker's run to the front post here and looks the obvious ball with Clark driving into the box, but Clark just holds a little while, and into the vacated space behind Burstow is a late arriving Abdullah Bar.
Up against Lyndon Gooch.
Little dance as well.
Yeah, little dance in there. Abdullah Bar pitching it out to Jack Clark. Then Jack there driving Lyndon back into the box. And then they'll come narrow. Nobody's there.
Space and time for Bar there as well.
Side foot finish, isn't it?
It's quick ball again that has afforded us this goal. It's a good thing, quick ball. Can we have more of it, please?
Just wondering where Thompson is, left back. High up the pitch for Stoke, nowhere to be seen.
Sunderland looked well in control now, with Stoke backing off. And chances coming in quick succession for Clark.
What a ball.
What a ball that is from Anthony Patterson. Jack Clark picks it up. Mason Burstow is inside the area. Clark's looking for him.
Say no one. Mason Burstow was trying to...
Then Job and Silt.
Slips in Silt. Deflected. Sunderland corner. He's Abdullah Bar. Chance for Jack Clark.
Oh!
What happened there?
Yeah, well, it's a corner. Well, Jack doesn't catch it. Clean.
But on the hour mark, Stoke settled and found their feet again with Lloris open in the box.
It's a cross in. Comes all the way through. Lloris gets a shot away. Oh, that was very close.
Yeah. Well, Stephen Schumacher's reaction.
The problem here is a lack of tracking and awareness. Juno makes a deep run to the corner here and Ballard tracks him. That means that Ekwa should drop in and cover Ballard's man, but he doesn't. Now, perhaps he's been told to stay out there to cover the point in case the winger drives in, which that's fine, but then that means that Neil behind him, who can see all this, has to make that cover. Neither of them act, though, whoever's job it is, and it means that Luke O'Nien ends up having to cover Ballard's man and his own, and subsequently Hume has to shift over to help, and this is what leaves Lloris open 10 yards out. In all, it's poor awareness and poor defending from those in front of the back four. And then Jensen Silt pounced on a second ball in the middle of the field. Ekwa does well to direct this ball. It's hit at him with some pace, and Bar pulls the defence as he surges into the box, laying it back off.
Oh, 3-0!
There we go.
For Ekwa to effectively end the match. He makes mistakes, Abdullah Bar, carries the ball too much sometimes, but his return this season in goals and assists is climbing impressively. Still only 20 years old, he's growing into a really good footballer. There was to be a consolation for Stoke, courtesy of Lyndon Gooch. Jack Clark had a chance late on in the game, and with 7 minutes of extra time, Timmy Pembele came on, but there wasn't really anything else to talk about except for a lashed volley by Ballard at the full whistle. Straight into Pato. Have that, Sonny Jim. So it was a win today, a decent looking one, but in truth, Stoke were poor. If we are to make the playoffs, we need to improve a lot more than this. Our chance creation in the first half was woeful for our possession, and Stoke too easily got a good lot of scoring chances today. On to Borough, and a tougher test altogether. See you next time.